Hi, what is up, you guys? It's Nick from Infinity, and I am sitting here with the director of the Mustang, Laure. How are you doing?
Very good, thank you very much.
So, what was the inspiration behind this film?
The inspiration is I read by coincidence an article about animal therapy in prison. It was 5 years ago in a French paper, and I got very interested about the combination of those two worlds and fields that I always got very fascinated about, animals in prison. So I decided to reach out to this magazine and to the therapists who were entrusting small animals to this prison. And from that experience, I decided to write my short film Rabbit. And I shot Rabbit. It was 4 years ago, and it premiered here 4 years ago as well. And then I loved so much this subject matter that I really wanted to dig more and study more. And I found out about this prison in Nevada who was doing the same partnership with wild horses. And I was like, this is the feature film. So I decided to go there and to observe and to spend a lot of time of researching how those men and horses were working together, what was the nature of their relationship, and how they would build trust and respect by taming themselves. So the metaphor was very strong. And it took maybe four years before being able to shoot the film. So it was a time, very precious time for me to deepen the characters and the story.
And what do you hope the audience learns about the program in the film?
For me, it was a very kind and empathetic message that moved me deeply personally, and I deeply believe into rehabilitation. I deeply believe into the second chance. I strongly think that there's a lot of men that didn't have the chance, the education, and the surrounding to grow up in a safe and healthy environment. So I feel that gives hope and heal, and that's what I'm hoping to bring, with this film.
So throughout the film, we see Roman in the beginning very closed off and doesn't really want to interact with his daughter or with other people. Then through the horse, the Mustang, he is more comfortable with people. He starts talking to his daughter more and stuff. Why was it important to show that evolution?
Because it's kind of a triangular relationship. I met a lot of inmates in prison who said that horses reconcile themselves with themselves and also with their family. It's prison men are really isolated. They're so ashamed about what they did and the nature of their crimes that they completely cut off with their families, and that makes them extremely unhappy and very very in pain psychologically. And taking care of an animal, taking care of a kid, it reconciles them about empathy and love, and being able to also have a self accomplishment and to be able to also forgive themselves. So all this process helped them to be able to give a sense to their life, which is getting out and reconnecting with their families and with their children. It's really about having proud children, and it was how can be proud in prison. So the horse, because the horse doesn't lie, and because he has a lack of judgment, he gives an instant gratification if the man takes care of him, obviously, So I feel that this very deep, visceral and natural connection with the animal helped the man says, oh, I might not be, maybe I'm a good person. Maybe I deserve love too. Maybe I can give love too. So that is what it is about. It's about learning how to love and connect.
And you were talking about how for your research you went into different prisons. Was that research difficult with the inmates, trying to get them to open up?
Yes, absolutely. I met someone that I was extremely important for my research. Her name is Catherine O'Meara. She's a psychologist. She was the health of the head of the health department in the prison in California, and she also owned horses. So she became my best friend. I met her 4 years ago, and she got me access to a lot of prisons in California so that I could deepen my characters and understand violence and anger. So I went with her in San Quentin in San Francisco multiple times, and I met a lot of people that really deep with a lot of details. My character Roman, and Roman is based on I would say, several men that I met multiple times, and so that was extremely beneficial. And also I went with her in this prison in Nevada, so she got me access also to this prison. She really opened, helped me to get comfortable in this environment and to introduce me. So without her, I would have never been able to do that research and not on that with this confidence.
Yeah.
So I spent maybe 3 years going back and forth. I went to multiple times in San Quentin and multiple times in Nevada in a northern correctional facility. And I went also to Solano. I went to Folsom. I went to a prison in Lancaster, close to Los Angeles. Yes, I have to say that at the end I was like, okay, enough with research. Now I have to make the script, to finish the script. But it was the most exceptional journey to be able to understand and to be as authentic as possible. That was really the goal. I was like, I can't talk about that if I don't know exactly what I'm talking about. Simple, I can't. I come from I love this journalistic approach of gathering elements and trying to understand and diving into this world and feeling it and absorbing as much as I can.
With this being your first directorial debut, what were some challenges that the Mustang presented compared to the Rabbit, which this was loosely based on?
Yes, the challenges. The Rabbit was a female character with inmates, with a small rabbit. So in terms of production, it was easier. A rabbit is easier to deal with than a horse. So, and also I had just 2 female characters, so it was a much more smaller and intimate. Yes. The Mustang deals about obviously this male trajectory, Roman, but also with a lot of inmates and with horses, and there was I wanted the film to feel extremely vivid and explosive and very unpredictable also in camera movement and the scene. So it's really, we were handheld, we were also adapting to horses. Even though we had a horse trainer, it's an animal, so you never really know what he's going to do.
True.
So it was a lot of improvisation, and I really wanted to give this energy to the film. And that was challenging because of the tight schedule, because of horses, stunt, horse trainer, actors. Everything together, it's a lot of it was tough. It was really tough, but miraculously we made it.
Yes. Since you were talking about on the short film, you basically had a cast of 2, and this is obviously much larger than 2. How was the cast dynamic on set?
The cast
dynamic.
A lot of men. A lot of men for one woman. No, I was very proud of one element, is that together former inmates from this program in Nevada. I met men that actually got released after, and I knew that I wanted them to be part of the cast, to bring their authenticity, to bring their to be also as consultants, be able to say, this is how it happened, this is what we want to do. And me, I was like, okay, this is what we're going to do for the film, this is what, to kind of also some time existence from the reality, but everything was so based to real stories that I really wanted to feel authentic. So it was to gather former inmates from the program and also wranglers and also real cats, real actors. And all those men together were so compassionate and got along so well. And I was kind of a fear, because you have so much, all this group that you have to compose, they have to work together, they have to deal with, and there was such a lot of kindness and humility. And I was very grateful for that, because it was not an easy shoot at all.
Yes.
And I have to say that Matthias, my lead actor, Matthias Schoenaerts, came with me in prison. He wanted to absorb, he wanted to feel. He's an actor who cares about emotions much more than being, the text or anything. His approach is very absorbing. So he came with me in prison for 1 week. He learned so much, and then on set, he had time to have all those absorption to sink in. So it was really his preparation. So and also being surrounded by all those elements of truth, we were shooting in an abandoned prison. Yeah, so he was enveloped by this atmosphere that was real and made him completely in sync with the character. So I felt that this environment that we created was very helpful for the actors, for me, you know, as a director, to also feel those vibrations and to be in really into the authentic roots. And I think the crew felt that too. So that was the success of this shoot. It was crazy, it was insane, it was tough, but we were all like completely connected by and cemented by this passion of being, truthful.
Yes. Yeah. And do you feel like the authenticity like that you're describing really helped strengthen the story? Completely,
absolutely, no doubt. Yes, I felt that that was the DNA from the beginning. Has to be close to the truth. It has to feel real, authentic, and because it is. And also, I felt that obviously it's an amazing documentary subject, but I wanted to do like narrate a feature film gives you this poetic license to elevate reality, and I felt that visually the subject was so powerful and so cinematic, and I needed to talk about those contrasts, visual, narrative, moral, that's all that this subject provides. So yes, I feel that was the goal. I hope it's successful.
Yeah. And how has the reception at Sundance felt? Like all the praise around the film?
I mean, it's not the screening is on Thursday.
Oh yeah, but like the pre
good. I mean, people are the trailer came out in December. People are excited about it. I feel that they're very intrigued. They don't know the program, so I think that there's the fact that it's such an unknown program, which is weird because it's pretty popular. I mean, in this prison system, it happens in 10 prisons, and like the white horse, the Mustang, is such a strong symbol of the West, of this country, that I was pretty amazed that no one knew about it. I mean, barely. And I felt that gave a lot of appetite to people to like, I didn't know this is such an amazing program. It opens a lot of thought, and I think that's good. It's really good. So yes, I can feel like an anticipation. I'm happy, excited about it.
Because I found the story really interesting because I've never heard about the program, so I thought like it was really interesting to bring this to light because you don't hear about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what. Yes, I thought that was very appealing, and I wish also the prison system, the justice system, all around the world will maybe think about doing those partnerships, like going to shelter, take dogs or cats or. Obviously, the wild horses belong to this country because this is where we found them. Yeah. But I feel that it's actually such a humane and wonderful, hopeful program for Justice Department. Yeah.
And what do you think teens can learn about the film, given we're a teen magazine?
It's a really good question because I met a lot of those men who made mistakes when they were teenagers. And most of them, they did a mistake between 18 and 20-year-old. Yeah. So really, really young adults, like late teens. Yeah. But I feel that this is where they destroy their life. And very sadly, some men have destroyed their life forever, and some of them are still in the process of redemption. Yes. And also they leave like their daughters or their children or their sons alone, parentless, and repeating the same mistakes. So I feel that it's very important that the environment, the education, and I hope that this film also maybe can help or can just make young people, teenagers, to think about this very sensitive time of life when you're kind of on the edge of making mistakes or not, but we all, on certain level did. We all want to experience, to push the limits. It's like we're also, for men, ego and violence sometimes associated together. Like, I feel powerful, I have a gun in my hand and a little bit of drugs, and bam, I destroy my life forever for nothing. It happens in 2 seconds, and it's not about psychopaths or sociopaths, but normal people like you and me, just being extremely brutalized, bad environment, bad parenting, being abused, abandoned, lack of love.
Yes.
And it's where it's the teenagehood is when they push the inmates and they destroy their life. So and the children life. And it's like this very bad, this vicious cycle of repetition again and again and again. And thanks to very amazing young adults that I met, their parents were in prison. They went through programs for children of inmates, and they could actually take distance and relate and says, okay, my parents made a mistake, I'm going to forgive them, and I'm not going to do the same.
Yes.
So I think there's amazing association that can help also children of inmates and help them to make the right decision and to take the right path. So I feel that it's very important for teens to know at some point to be helped if there's something wrong or there's something that you feel, and to have association that can really help them, or to have like a sense of their life, like an animal or something to take care of and to look after, to be able, even though they have bad surroundings, environments and education, they can still have a sense of themselves and to of gratification, and to still be able to say I'm a good person, and it's not because I was not considered or I was not loved that I cannot be a good person. So
because I know throughout the film, like, you really try to focus on like that they're human, like they're not like monsters or like criminals per se. You really focus on the human element. Like, why was that important?
So I think that was already my instinct to really talk about violence and humanity and see how what is anger, what is violence about. It's like an eruption of emotions, even chemical emotions that you can control or you cannot control. I think we all have that in us at different levels. We can all, lose control and be violent and make mistakes and like kind of be angry. So those emotions are very humane. They're normal. But when you push it or when it's unbalanced, then it leads to ego abuse, fear, protection, overprotection. So I believe in humanity. I believe into humanism, human power. I believe that people are born good, and that if they make mistake, it's really about their environments and how they grew up and their education. I also believe that there's crazy people like sociopath or psychopath, but that's for asylum or mental institute. I'm talking about like men that can be rescued. So it's for me very important to talk about this aspect. I'm obviously, I'm not like a victim's relative, so it's hard also for people who are like, oh yeah, but he actually killed my. Of course, people can have monster acts. True. It doesn't mean that they are monsters. That's what I want to describe, and also because I talk so much to those men, and so many of them made mistakes because they didn't know they were doing something wrong. And they said, if I knew I was a good person, I would have never acted like that. But I was considered like a monster. I was never loved. I was abused. I was brutalized. I was raped. So I acted like a monster because no one liked me. So why? So it's kind of like this very sad mistake of perspective of yourself. It's like you don't see yourself as you are, and so you're gonna act like. I mean, it's a complete lie about yourself, and it's so sad because so many men could have avoided to destroy people's life and destroy their life if they knew that they were good. It's like, it's really coming. So an animal can bring that out. That's what I observed by doing those research. An animal can bring this. Oh, okay. So I take care of this animal. It takes care of me. We get along. Good. I'm capable of love and empathy. Okay, maybe I'm a good person. So it's kind of like this cycle. I think it's wonderful. And I hope that's I know that works. So I hope that can be like more popular.
Is that what you hope the audience's main takeaway is from the film? Absolutely.
Yeah. But to reconnect with this kind of distrust, it's kind of like the horse or the animal can awaken the little children that you are.
Yeah.
It's kind of been buried, under a lot of different circumstances, and it's kind of awakened and kind of take out this substance that's kind of so pure and intact and innocent when you're a kid, and then so much things happen, and then bad or no, you know. So this is when animal, it feels like it's kind of like a resurrection.
Yeah.
So maybe it's utopic, but I've seen it, and I've seen that it worked. Not 100% sure.
Yeah.
There's some people that go back in prison or go back to mistake. But I really witnessed and observed how impactful it was on men's life, on people's life.
Well, it was a real pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, me
about
too.
This film.
I can talk about it forever. So I'm like very talkative talking about it. I'm so passionate about it.
Yeah.